We were not even fighting this morning. All I did was say sorry.
Did something happen to you?
Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's defamation trial seems to be all anyone can talk about these days as the court case forges on. It is nothing short of a media circus as the trial is being live streamed on the internet for all the world to see and consume. Johnny Depp is suing Amber Heard for defamation for $50 million. He had previously sued The Sun, an English-based newspaper, for defamation after they labeled him as someone who physically harms others. He lost that case, and this new one, for all intents and purposes, seems like the turning of the tides, with the key difference being key witnesses are finally allowed to speak during this trial, where previously they were barred. Wherever you stand on the matter, I will do my best to give an extremely unbiased account of the trial to best aid you in coming to your own conclusions about this undoubtable mess. Johnny Depp was born in Kentucky, but would move around frequently with his family before settling in Florida. His parents got divorced when he was 15. When his mother remarried, Depp would later consider his new stepdad to be an inspiration for his acting work. Johnny didn't start out in acting, however. In fact, he dropped out of high school with the idea of becoming a rock star. Although he tried to go back to high school 2 weeks later, his principal encouraged him to follow his dream of being a musician and to only come back if he thoroughly wanted to, not because he felt he had to. Different times, I guess. Anyways, Johnny began playing in a band that received moderate success in Florida, so they moved to LA to try and get a record deal. Sadly, the band would split up before they ever got said record deal. Johnny Depp got into acting kind of on accident. He was already in LA because of his defunct band, and he met actor Nicolas Cage through his then wife, Lori Ann Allison. Cage encouraged him to pursue an acting career and got him into touch with his agent. Johnny Depp viewed acting as a way to pay the bills while he pursued music, which is hilarious. It's like saying you're a theater major to pay the bills while you pursue a passion in accounting. Then, as he kept getting roles, he found himself suddenly with the title of actor, especially when he was cast in the series 21 Jump Street at 22 years old. Johnny Depp's ethnicity comes into question a lot because of his darker features. But the only non-white ancestry he has dates back to a colonial freedom fighter in the 1600s, so that definitely wouldn't contribute to his complexion. In fact, he's primarily French and American. Although he said that he may have some Native American in his bloodline, that was proven to be untrue and led plenty of people to criticize his choice to portray Tonto, a Native character in the movie The Lone Ranger. An ad featuring Johnny Depp and Native American imagery that promoted a fragrance by Dior, literally named Sauvage, aka Savage, was obviously pulled in 2019 for cultural appropriation and racism. Now, we all know what has happened since then. He went on to do bigger and bigger roles, more particularly with Tim Burton, as part of his repeating troupe of actors that include Helena Bonham Carter. He also went on to star in the Disney series Pirates of the Caribbean, for which I'd argue is his most known role as Captain Jack Sparrow. Famously, studio executives disapproved of the messiness of Jack Sparrow and wanted him to be a more PG pirate, but fan bases responded so positively to the character, they were forced to let Depp's portrayal become a mainstay. By 2012, he was listed by Guinness Book of World Records as the highest paid actor in the world, earning $75 million US. Now, let's get into his personal life. He has 2 kids with his ex-wife Vanessa Paradis, a French actor. Although they sadly divorced in 2012, they remained close and co-parent their children. When asked about having children in an interview, Depp stated that having a family gave him a, quote, real foundation, a real strong place to stand in life, in work, and everything. You cannot plan the kind of deep love that results from children. Fatherhood was not a conscious decision. It was part of the wonderful ride I was on. It was destiny. All the math finally worked. Depp also has a well-documented struggle with substances. Apparently, it started when he took his mother's nerve pills at 11 years old. By age 14, he was doing pretty much anything he could get his hands on. Although he had a few years where he was sober, during his time with Amber Heard, Depp would later admit to being fully hooked on a cocktail of substances. Now, let's get into what you're here for, the trial. Amber Heard and Johnny Depp met in 2011 on the set of a film after Depp divorced his wife. Their relationship was extremely volatile, yet despite this, they would marry in a civil union in 2015. Then, in 2016, Amber filed for divorce and got a temporary restraining order against Johnny Depp. She claimed that when he was intoxicated, Johnny harmed her verbally and physically. Johnny denied these claims and said that she was only after money from the settlement. The divorce was finalized in 2017 after Johnny Depp agreed to settle for $7 million, of which Amber claimed that she would donate to the LA Children's Hospital and the American American Civil Liberties Union, which is like a non-profit human rights organization. Now we get into the lawsuits. In 2018, a year after the divorce was settled, Johnny Depp took a newspaper in the UK called The Sun to court for labeling the actor as someone who harms his wife. The case was highly publicized, with both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard testifying. Then in 2020, the High Court of Justice ruled that 12 of the 14 incidences of harm claimed by Amber were, quote, substantially true. The court then rejected Depp's claim of a hoax and accepted that Heard had her career and activism damaged because of Johnny. Following the verdict of this trial, the actor resigned from the Fantastic Beasts franchise because he was asked to do so by Warner Bros. Although Johnny sought to appeal the verdict made against him in 2021, he was rejected, with the court stating that they found no reason to believe that the case wasn't done properly. His lawyers even accused Amber of not donating the money she promised to the charities, but she said that she had not been able to do so because of the lawsuits against her by Depp. In addition to suing The Sun, Depp also decided to sue Amber herself for defamation in 2019 over her op-ed about being a survivor of harm. Although she didn't name him in the article, it was pretty clear who it's about. He claimed that he had lost out on jobs and roles because of the op-ed, which he deemed to be untrue and false. Amber countersued, saying that Johnny ran a smear campaign against her on Twitter. When the Sun lawsuit ruled in Amber's favor, she applied to have this lawsuit against her dismissed, but the court rejected it because the suit was against the Sun and not Amber, so they were different. Now, the main difference between this case that's currently ongoing is that key witnesses are allowed to testify for and against Amber, whereas the previous trial was focused on the Sun and making sure they upheld journalistic integrity. With this case being directly against Amber herself, much more evidence is allowed to be unveiled. Like, for example, texts between Johnny Depp and a friend about wanting to burn and aggressively harm Amber's body. Similarly, phone call recordings of Amber admitting to hitting Johnny were played in the courtroom, and Johnny claims that Amber left human feces in his bed. Some audio clips show Depp loudly shouting vulgarities at Amber, calling her degrading names. He winced on the stand as the clips played, with Amber looking to be fighting back tears. The toxicity of their relationship was apparent and indisputable, with each person seeming to have done harm to one another. It is also now being alleged that Amber had cut a portion of Johnny's finger off after she threw a bottle at him, although she alleges that he cut it off himself during a bout of substance use. While the lawsuit is technically supposed to center on whether Depp was defamed because of Amber's op-ed article, most of the trial has focused on the ugly details of the couple's marriage. Additionally, because it's being broadcast live online, the media circus surrounding the case has been insurmountable. It also can't help that key witnesses include celebrities like James Franco and Elon Musk, who are both set to testify. It seems that this case has become less about libel and defamation and is viewed more and more as some sort of twisted television show for audiences to enjoy and laugh at. The amount of TikTok videos I've personally seen where Johnny Depp epically owns Amber Heard while pumped up music plays in the background is a little disgusting. No matter whose side you happen to take on the matter, I wish more people would focus on the fact that this is people's real lives and real traumas. Please try to be more empathetic to how hard this is for all those involved.
Did you have a good look at her face during that conversation?
Yes.
Amber Heard's name seems much more synonymous with the case she's been embroiled in with her ex Johnny Depp than she does with the movie she's in. As I write this script, the live stream of the trial between Amber and Johnny is currently underway. Text messages were revealed between the former lovers that showed just how toxic and violent the relationship got, with cops being called and extremely harsh words being spoken between one another. Celebrities have also been called to testify, including actors like Jason Momoa and people like Elon Musk. Just a warning, I am going to remain relatively impartial during this whole thing to show just facts rather than diluting it with my own opinion on the whole thing. So let's catch up with just how the trial is going between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Amber Heard was born in Austin, Texas, to a very outdoorsy family that would routinely horseback ride, fish, and hunt. Amber herself was very involved in the scene and raised stoutly Catholic throughout her childhood. However, when she was a teenager, Heard began identifying as an atheist after her best friend passed tragically in a car crash. A year after the tragedy that left Amber in shambles, she stated that she, quote, no longer felt comfortable in conservative, God-fearing Texas, and decided to move to Los Angeles to pursue acting while earning her high school diploma through a home study course. In her mid-teens, living in LA by herself, Amber began her work in acting straight away. She started appearing in small television and music video roles in the early 2000s. A few years into her career, she began receiving leading roles in C-list slasher movies and teen dramas. Her first big break came about in 2008, when she obtained a role in the cult classic comedy Pineapple Express. She went on to star in much higher profile films alongside actors like Nicolas Cage and Demi Moore. In 2017, Heard landed a role in the movie Justice League as Aquaman's love interest. And up until now, she was set to appear in the next installment of the film, set to be released near the end of 2022, but more on that later. Amber Heard was embroiled in 2014 in a mass celebrity lewd photo leak where several celebrities had their private photos distributed without their consent. Being a victim of having private images leaked has led Amber to write an op-ed about feeling taken advantage of during the digital age and how easy it is for predators to access your information. Now, let's get into the controversy that has Amber almost completely consumed. Back in 2011, she first met Johnny Depp on the set of a movie. The pair began dating near the end of 2011, beginning of 2012. This came on the coattails of Depp's separation from his partner of 14 years. Before we fully get into their relationship, it is worth noting that Amber had been arrested back in 2009 for harming her then-girlfriend in Washington, wherein it was alleged that she aggressively grabbed and hit her girlfriend. All the charges were dropped, however, with the alleged victim herself stating that it was blown way out of proportion. Anyways, back to the Depp-Heard romance. The pair got engaged in 2014 and ended up getting married a year later. Their relationship would only last until mid-2016, however, when Heard officially files for divorce from Johnny and accuses him of physically harming her. She claimed that he hurt her when he was under the influence of substances. My language here has to be careful because of YouTube, just so you know. She further says that he threw his phone at her and left her with a bruised face. However, the cops released a report stating that when they showed up to the couple's home on the call of harm, they found that no crime had actually taken place. Johnny Depp, meanwhile, vehemently denied these accusations and accused Amber of, quote, attempting to secure a premature financial resolution by alleging harm. Initially, when the case was just beginning, a $7 million settlement was agreed upon outside of court, where Depp paid Heard the money and they both released a joint statement stating that, quote, our relationship was intensely passionate and at times volatile, but always bound by love. Neither party has made false accusations for financial gain. So it seems like they both freely admitted that Johnny Depp hurt Amber Heard, and Hollywood would react accordingly. In the midst of holding high-profile individuals accountable for their actions, Depp was basically blacklisted from work for quite some time. He was dropped from movies, and no one was going to hire him. In 2018, a year after their divorce was finalized, Amber wrote a Washington Post op-ed about the treatment of women in domestic harm cases. Despite never naming Johnny himself, it's pretty clear who the article was aimed towards. Due to this article, Depp sued Heard for $50 million, accusing her of defamation of character, and basically lying in her piece. In the lawsuit, Depp accuses Heard of lying about being hurt by Johnny, and instead he claims that she hurt him. In a court filing that attempted to cancel the charges, Heard details multiple instances of harm and even refers to Johnny Depp as a monster. The pair continue to throw accusations at one another, with Depp claiming that the actress cheated on him with James Franco and Elon Musk, and Heard claimed she still has scars on her arms from when her ex allegedly dragged her through broken glass. All this seems pretty confusing, and a lot of he said, she said. That was until in 2020 when phone recordings were released in which Heard admits to hitting Johnny Depp. In the recordings, she says, quote, I'm sorry that I hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I wasn't hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched. The conversation then continues, with Depp claiming he left because he didn't want their fight to get uglier, and Heard replying, quote, I can't promise you I won't get physical again. God, sometimes I get so mad I lose it. This is the most solid, damning evidence to date that the public has been made aware of that would officially prove that Amber was the one committing harm rather than the other way around. During the lawsuits, two of Johnny Depp's former relationships, including the 14-year one he had prior to Amber, both claim that Johnny had never hurt them nor made any indication of him hurting anyone. One ex-partner stated, quote, the idea that he is an incredibly violent person is the furthest thing from the Johnny I know and loved. I cannot wrap my head around these accusations. As of right now, Johnny Depp has been denied 2 separate times an appeal of the court's ruling that he had harmed Amber, despite all the evidence against her. His defense lawyer has this to say about the ruling. Quote, "Most troubling is the judge's reliance on the testimony of Amber Heard and corresponding disregard of the mountain of counter evidence from police officers, medical practitioners, her own former assistant, other unchallenged witnesses, and an array of documentary evidence which completely undermines the allegations point by point." Despite the legal ruling that completely sides with Amber Heard, which resulted in Johnny Depp being asked to step down from his role in the Harry Potter spin-off Fantastic Beasts, the public has very clearly sided with Depp. The legal fight definitely is not over though. As it stands now, Johnny is suing Amber for defamation, claiming that her allegations against him are false and constitute mischaracterization. The results of this trial could finally turn the case in Depp's favor. While the public is very clearly sided with him, so far the court has been completely obstinate. What we know right now of the cases that are currently in progress is that more and more texts are being revealed in court with just how violent things got. They're recounting testimonies, and Johnny is claiming that Amber's false accusation led him to lose movie roles and made it difficult for him to supplement his income. It seems like based on the evidence, both parties have been extremely harmful to one another. They both instigated fights and egged each other on, where harm became common and expected. At the end of the day, it seems like a genuinely toxic space, but very obviously, Amber has been let off with a much easier sentence. She retains movie roles. Well, until now. Following the verdict that denies Depp's defamation lawsuit, a Change.org petition was started that demanded Heard be fired from her newest movie, Aquaman 2. The petition reached 2 million people who signed it, and in January, it was confirmed by the director of the film that she had indeed been released from filming and would not appear in the latest installment. Only time will tell just how messy this will continue to be. And as it stands with the trial in progress, I wish I had more information than I do, but it's just not available.